What is going on, everybody? I wanted to make this video last week, and unfortunately I just never got around to it because there's just a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, a lot of personal stuff. Like currently I'm trying to find a new job, and that's just a real pain in the ass. So usually almost every day when I come home after working a long work day, I'm dead tired, and I flop in my chair and just turn on the TV or just turn on my system and start playing games. And I don't really think about making videos that I would want to make. And that's unfortunate because I have noticed that I am now over 400 subscribers. And that is just mind-blowing to me because I never would have thought in my life that I would have even reached 100 subscribers, much less 400. That is just mind-blowing to me. So I want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel and who do like the videos that I make. And I want to make more videos to give back to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. So I'm going to try my best to start making more videos. And if you have any suggestions or improvements for me, then feel free to let me know, because I do appreciate the time you take out of your day to watch anything that I make. So now that I got that out of the way, we're going to talk about Microsoft and Xbox. Because one day, when I was sitting on my chair, I just looked up on my shelf, and I saw my Xbox One, which, by the way, is currently unplugged. It's just sitting there with a mountain of dust on it. And I was just like, it's really depressing to see the position that Microsoft is in right now. I'm currently, honestly, trying to sell my Xbox One because I have not played the thing since, I think, either late October or early November. It was around the time when Gears of War 4 was new. That was the last time I played it. And by the way, Gears of War 4 is the only game I currently own for the Xbox One. Because Microsoft really gives me no reason to turn the thing on. And it seems like Microsoft, at least to me, they don't seem to really care about getting new players to buy an Xbox One. Because it seems like every single time Microsoft has a creative IP that is only going to be for their system, at least console-wise, it seems like it either gets pushed back or it gets outright canceled. When it comes to canceling, I think the biggest example is Scalebound. Scalebound was one of the most intriguing games that was going to be coming out on Xbox One. And I've even seen some people say that they were going to probably buy an Xbox One just to play a game like Scalebound. That should tell you a lot about how many people really wanted to play Scalebound. And then Microsoft just outright canceled Scalebound. Now, I don't know the behind-the-scenes issue with Scalebound. Maybe there was more to it than I or anyone else knows. Maybe it was more on Platinum's end. But I just think it's funny how the game looked great from the few gameplays that were shown of it. It didn't look like a game that had a lot of issues or that it needed more time. It looked like a pretty polished game when they showed it. So I don't see why they would have canceled it, honestly. Especially when there were people out there that wanted to play it. And the reason I can't understand that is because there's a lot of bad games that get released. Like, for example, there's games like Farming Simulator. Now, I'm not trying to attack anyone who likes Farming Simulator, but I look at games like that and I go, how did a game like that get a green light, but a game like Scalebound didn't? It just doesn't make sense to me. But it doesn't just stop with Scalebound. Remember Fable Legends? The Fable series was a pretty popular series on Xbox. I never played Fable 1. I started with Fable 2, and I loved the hell out of Fable 2. And Fable 3 was nowhere near as good as Fable 2, but it wasn't a terrible game, at least to me. And then there was that Fable Connect game, which honestly I thought was decent for a Connect game. But it had Fable Legends. And then that got canceled. And then we have another game, a game that I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and that's Cuphead. And Cuphead keeps getting delayed. I think it's been delayed like 2 to 3 times. Now, the developers have come out and said that Cuphead is not going to get canceled, which is good. But it's been delayed so much. So it seems like any game, any creative game that's not a racer or a shooter that is going to come out on Xbox either gets canceled or delayed. That doesn't really give me much hope and excitement for the system, especially since I own a PlayStation 4. Because the PlayStation 4 is getting all of those multi-plat games that is also on Xbox One, but they're also releasing new games. Like recently, Neo came out, and then there was Yakuza 0. Now, I understand Yakuza's a long-running franchise, but it's still a new game that's exclusive. Microsoft's not doing that. Microsoft is either just getting the multiplats, or they're releasing games that, honestly, if you have a decent PC, you can just play it on the PC. You don't need to get an Xbox for it. But that's not the thing that really caused me to ultimately make this video. What ultimately caused me to make this video is the fact that Microsoft, for whatever reason, they seem to care more about their Xbox backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox One backwards compatibility system's a good thing. Backwards compatibility is great for any system because it just adds the game to the game library of that system. That is one of the reasons why the PlayStation 2 was so successful, is because you could play the PS2 games, but you can still also play your PS1 games. So you have a huge library just right there on one system. So backwards compatibility is a good thing. But I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Microsoft has been bragging about that and getting more excited about that than bringing new games to the Xbox One. Like, for example, last week, they constantly hyped that you will now be able to play Grand Theft Auto 4 on the Xbox One. And they made it seem like that it was a big fucking deal. And I'm looking at all those tweets, and I'm sitting there like, I played Grand Theft Auto 4 7 years ago. I mean, 9 years ago. Because it came out in 2008. I've already played that game. Lots of people have already played that game. That is not something you should be excited about. That is not something you need to be bragging about. And they were treating it like they just got one of the biggest new IPs of the century. That's what they treated that like. I think Major Nelson tweeted like 8 or 10 times that day about Grand Theft Auto 4 coming. And then here you have on the PlayStation side, and they're getting new games. People buy consoles to play new games. They don't buy consoles to just play old games on old consoles. That should just be an add-on feature. But it seems like to me that Microsoft just cares more about bringing 360 games over to the Xbox One than making new games. And the sad thing is that from a lot of the games that I've seen, a lot of the 360 games being played on Xbox One, they, for whatever reason, they perform worse than on the 360. I don't know what the hell is up with that, but I've seen a lot of games perform worse. So it's just depressing to me when you think about it, because Xbox was a big part of gaming for me last gen. It introduced a lot of franchises and a lot of gaming features to me. And last gen, I was a huge supporter of the 360. But to me, it's sad to see how much Microsoft has lost their way. So that is it. Let me know what you think, and until next time, have a good one.